Knicks first round matchup against the Detroit Pistons. They haven't been here in a while. I think the last time they've made it to the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, 2019, if I'm not mistaken, it was that first round matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. They lost. That was when Blake Griffin was on the team. I may be incorrect, but if memory serves me correct, that is true. And here they are. A new fresh face, Olsar Thompson. Isaiah Stewart is an amazing defender. Malik Beasley's hitting threes, but the head of the fish, Cade Cunningham, 26, 9, and 6. Flirting with enough a triple-double as a player. I think he's that type of guy, great size as a point guard. He's going to lead this brigade against the New York Knicks, who throughout the course of the season had their ups and had their downs. But when I think I put this together, I think Jalen Brunson can match Cade Cunningham as one of the two best players in this series. And I do think the Knicks get it done. Ben, you said you were worried. I mean, like, what's running through your mind?
I'm worried about the physicality of Detroit. You know, I think especially with the way they've been playing all season, they've almost got the heart and intensity and grit of the Knicks team that we saw from last season. And this season, the Knicks have not been as good defensively. They haven't been as good in terms of offensive rebounding. They haven't shot the three as well. They haven't defended the three as well. Yeah. A lot of holes. And, there's even if this Knicks team had 51 wins, overall, that's a good season. But when you compare to last year, where they just kind of came out of nowhere with a plucky roster that really had a lot of talent and intensity, even when they were banged up, and you compare it to this year's Knicks team, I almost feel like they've lost a step. And I hate to say that. I mean, when you trade for Mikal and give away all those first rounders, and then you also have Hartenstein who's gone, and you have Randall not part of the picture. Obviously, Cat for Randall is just, I would say, about even. If anything, Cat a little bit better of a player, significantly better, but at the same time, you lost that grit and intensity with Randall gone, with Hartenstein gone, with DiVincenzo gone, and this Knicks team has not shown that same fight. Even if they're a win better this season, it has not been the same season as last year. And I say this as a guy who has covered this team all season long. It is, Tom Thibodeau said in the last home game of this season, the press conference, he said we need to figure it out and figure it out fast because it's, they're not gelling in the way they should and coming together in the way they should right before the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. Playoffs a clean slate, but it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. And now what you want to hear from a New York Knicks fan, I see the mundane, I would say the macabre on your face here. Yeah. Someone else wants to join the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Daniel from Brooklyn calling in, wants to talk some basketball as well as claim the Yankees tickets. So, Daniel, what you got for us?
Hey, I really do think the Pistons are going to win. I think they're going to sweep, really. I've been a long-time Knicks fan, but I don't think they have it in them.
Stop the presses.
Kurt, you sending one of your friends to do this?
This is Kurt, is this one of your friends? You don't know this guy. Daniel from Brooklyn. Daniel, let's do this first. I want you to claim the Yankees tickets. Let's start off on a high note. I'll read out the question to you one more time. Who was the first Yankee to hit the first home run in the new Yankee Stadium? Your answer is?
I want to say it's Jorge Posada.
And you are absolutely correct, brother. The answer is going to be Jorge Peralta, I believe, or Posada. He was the first one to do it. And congratulations, you earned yourself a ticket to the June 5th matchup between the Yankees and the Guardians there. So congrats on the tickets. We got that out the way. A Piston sweep. Talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
That's a bold take.
I've watched them all season. They've lost against every good team they played.
The Knicks, I agree with that. I agree with that, but that's also in terms of the Pistons. They had beat the Pistons once this season, and when you look at, I would say the bright spot for this Knicks roster is they are healthy going into the playoffs. I mean, more so than they were last year.
That's my point in contention. That's where I have to disagree with you, Ben. They are healthy to go into the. Daniel brings up a correct point. I think I think up to a certain point, I think this was immediately after All-Star break, the Knicks were 11-14 against teams over 500. They're 0-10 against the Celtics, my Thunder, and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
You're preaching to the choir here, Madi.
But basic math tells me that 2 All-Stars like a Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns at least get you 2 games. Again, I do think this Knicks squad, for all it's worth, is a more talented roster. Like, Osar's a rookie. Isaiah Stewart only has so much defense on one end of the floor. I do think you could play him off in a playoff series, get him fouled out. I don't know how much impact the Malik Beasley has, but
I think the Pistons also beat the Knicks a lot.
The Pistons also beat the Knicks, but it's a different game come playoff time, no? Defenses get back. The game slows down. Mikal Bridges can rise. We've given him criticism. OG Anunoby has stepped up and played really good basketball in the absence of Jalen Brunson. A sweep by the Pistons. Cade Cunningham, first time in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think that's a bit bold. I think the Pistons could
It's
absolutely
bold,
win.
but I believe in them.
Are you a Pistons fan?
It's a Knicks
No.
guy.
I'm not. I was a Knicks fan, but they hurt me too much.
This is going back when? Is this something new? Is this season you saw enough and you were like, no, I'm done with them? Or is it just like...
It's been like a malaise this season.
Oh, malaise.
Well, I sort of agree with you there. Like I said, I think this team does not have the fight that they did last season, and they're not playing for each other. And I think there's also some chemistry issues in the locker room from what I've heard, specifically with how all these players are gelling on the court and in terms of sharing the ball and who's getting their touches and the amount of shots they want to get up. I think it's been uneven this year, but again, the bright spot is it's a healthier team going into the playoffs than last year. And last year, I think, had a better spirit, and in spirit was a better team. But they were hobbled the whole second half of the season heading into the playoffs. They do not have that issue this time around.
I think it's going to come back around. Thibodeau's only playing, like Percy Einen said it. You're saying, I've said it, I'm not even a Knicks guy. You know what Thibodeau's going to do. He has a long history of this, playing a very, very short rotation throughout the course of the regular season. Yes, he's trying to get guys to fill that homogenous flow, try to get guys acclimated to one another. But if you play guys heavy minutes, like Josh Hart and OG Anunoby,
them last game of the
Josh
season.
Hart and OG Anunoby throughout the course of this season have told Tom Thibodeau visibly on the sideline, we are tired, take us out. This is coming from Mikal Bridges, who has never missed a game since high school, and Josh Hart, who's the Iron Man of all Iron Man. It doesn't work like that. Secondly, you talk about the chemistry. This is where I think the Knicks scare me the most. Let's say they do lose, because again, I think Daniel, brother, I don't think they get swept. Let's say they do lose in the first round.
Oh,
I think the Knicks will be too quick to blow this up. I think they're going to make a move for Kevin Durant. I think they say maybe Kevin Durant for Karl Anthony Towns, and I think they're in a worse spot if they do that. But the Knicks are perfectly capable of doing that because they have that impulse in them. That's what scares me about the Knicks. Exactly.
Kevin Durant doesn't want to be a Knick. That's already been known.
Oh, but
Two,
not the first time around.
There were rumors at All-Star break.
The rumors second time around.
Yeah, there's great rumors, but Kevin Durant has already said that he's not going to be a Knick.
Kevin Durant says a lot of things.
Yeah, he said a lot of things, but he's not going to be a Knick. It's a place he doesn't want to be. He'll be a Houston Rocket, or he might be a Grizzly.
Which I don't think they should do. I think they will never sniff a championship
I don't care.
if they do that.
Either way, it's not going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Cat is not Kevin Durant. One.
Cat is not Kevin
Two,
Durant, but you're Phoenix. You're looking to get off
the
contract.
effect that has happened with the Knicks is that I've actually heard this from Bart Scott as I was rolling into school today.
Shout out to Bart Scott.
Shout out to Bart Scott. Shout out to Bart and Carlin on ESPN Radio.
There you go.
But the Knicks lack homegrown talent. The Knicks have no homegrown talent. They have no one that actually knows what it's like to be a Knick.
Mitchell Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson watches from the bench.
Jalen Brunson.
No, he's not injured anymore, and he's an instrumental part of this defense.
Is it fair to call Jalen Brunson homegrown? I mean, Dad works for the Knicks.
He's not
homegrown.
He was not drafted.
He wasn't drafted.
Mikal
but
Bridges,
he
not
has
drafted to the Knicks.
Not drafted to the Knicks.
Jalen Brunson, not drafted to the Knicks.
Cat, not
drafted to
starters.
the Knicks.
Deuce McBride.
Josh Hart, not drafted to the Knicks.
Deuce McBride.
That's it.
But I think
none of them know. But
think
none of them,
team...
Ben, none of them understand what it's like to be a Knick or actually care.
Well, I agree with that. That's why I think,
and that's why these guys.
No, but that's That's why last season they had a better team
The
identity.
ethos. Yeah, the ethos around the
But
team.
I don't know who that guy calling earlier was. I think that was one of your spies.
Daniel from Brooklyn.
But saying that it's Pistons in 4 is kind of
No, it's
insane.
Pistons in 6.
I don't think it's
No.
Pistons in 6.
I
do
think
think
it's Knicks in 7.
I would go Knicks in. I would
Knicks
go
in
Knicks in 5. Or,
7?
I would go Knicks in
Yeah.
6 or 5.
You're making the Knicks get to 7. Ben, if the Knicks get to 7 games against the
That's
Pistons,
not good.
They're not even. There's no chance.
Yeah,
they-
that's
they-
not good.
I
they
Kurt,
move
I'm
on after
agreeing
the
with you.
second
I think they'll
round.
make it out of the first round just barely and then get crushed by
I don't
Boston.
think it's just barely. I think you're not giving yourself enough credit. I'm
Ben,
saying
4 out of
what
the best.
can go wrong will go wrong with the Knicks. I think if they implode, if they magically implode and lose in the first round, which I don't think will happen, I'm saying Knicks in 6. I think Cade could get you 2. Really 1, but 2. I think the Knicks will be trigger happy. I know it's the last regime, James, the ghost of Jim Dolan, and the other guys. I know it's Worldwide Wesley, and I know it's Rick Brunson, and I know it's those guys there. But I think the stench is still on them where they'll pull a trigger and they'll say, we'll go get this guy, and you're worse off for it. I think the Knicks' chemistry should be fine going into next season, especially because you keep this core together. Remember, the Celtics won't be the Celtics for too much longer. They got guys to pay their second apron team. Porzingis and Drew Holiday will not be on the roster soon. I think the Knicks could attack that, but they cannot panic. That's my biggest thing.
I'll just say I think they'll make it out of the first round. It's my prediction,
Yeah.
and I think they'll get crushed by Boston, and then it's going to be an
Not
interesting.
crushed.
I think they'll get crushed by Boston. I say this as
They're
going to
get swept in 4 games against Boston. They'll make it
You
out of the
think
first
swept?
round.
You are preaching to the choir, Kurt.
They're making it out of the first round.
Oh, I thought you said
yeah,
Pistons
yeah,
in
yeah.
6.
I know. I'll be honest. The Pistons can definitely beat them,
But hold on.
I'll be honest. Wait, Monty.
Yeah.
Give me name the 4 best players from all combined in that series. 4 of them are Knicks. Five best
Yeah.
players. 4 of them are Knicks.
Yeah.
In the Pistons series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 of them are Knicks.
4 of
Cade
them are Knicks.
No,
Cunningham
you
is the
said Cade Cunningham was the best on the floor.
I
Monty.
said,
He
I said
actually-
Cade. I think
That's
Cade Cunningham.
goofy.
I think
That's goofy.
I don't think
Monty.
that's
Cade
goofy.
averages 35 points against the Knicks this season.
And he's
He is-
averaging 26 points per game. I do have to give credit to Jalen Brunson. He was going to make second team. He got injured. That's why on the show when we went live to start the segment, I said that they'll tie each other. I think Jalen Brunson and Cade will match for best player in the series. Do not be surprised if Cade is the better player. Don't be surprised. I don't think that's a ridiculous statement.
Cade has the ability to be the better player over
Cade
Jalen
does have
Brunson.
the ability to be the better
Cade
player.
has the ability
Jalen
to be-
also has the ability to be the better player in that series. I think they'll go point for point. I really do.
Cade has the ability to be an all-time, like a superstar point guard.
Yeah.
I understand Jalen
Excellent
Brunson.
rebounder.
I
Yeah.
understand Jalen Brunson is a star.
He's a superstar.
I don't know if
Do
he's
you
a
remember,
superstar yet,
Are you kidding me? Do you remember the playoffs last season?
Ben.
The
But if
only-
he's on a different team, he's not. He's not that guy. He's not.
What
In
what
the
is
fourth
that?
quarter,
what do
he
you,
is
what do you
that
mean? he's
Well, I
not
will
that
say
guy?
to that,
Cade-
Kurt Sippel.
Cade on every other team that he's on, not every other team, but a lot of the teams that he can be on, Cade's the superstar.
Cade's ceiling is higher than Jalen's,
if
obviously.
Jalen Brunson,
That is-
well, because Cade's younger,
Cade,
but-
not just that. I think he's playing better. Like, he's a
do
better
you know-
rebounder. He's a better defender. He's
you can bring up any stats you want, Ben. I'm going based off eye test, my own personal ability, as well as that Cade has averaged 36 points a game. And I'll be honest, also,
6 assists.
JD Bickerstaff's the better coach in this series.
I do like JD
that
Bickerstaff.
is insane. All right, I agree.
He's
that,
outcoached the Knicks in every game that they've played against them.
but that's not Tibbs' fault. That's the
Tibbs.
fault of the players.
No, that's Tibbs'
That's
fault.
Tibbs.
No, it is the fault
Ben, they
of the
back
player.
down.
There's only
Ben,
so much you
Ben,
can do with
the
a
Knicks.
broken.
The Knicks get backed down into a corner by the Pistons every time they play, and Tibbs doesn't change the menu. I say this all the time.
That's
Kurt-
a Tibbs thing. Tibbs, we've all been saying it, Kurt. Tibbs doesn't change anything. He hates rookies. He plays 6 guys, and he doesn't make adjustments. That's everything it is.
No, he does make adjustments.
when there's injuries.
All right,
That's
very
true.
Funny, very funny. Kurt.
I'm not even trying to be a jerk, but that's true.
No, you're trying to do rage bait.
No,
and-
there's
and
no rage bait.
It's followed him
I'm
throughout
being
the course of
honest.
his career.
Tom Thibodeau is one of the best coaches in the NBA.
I think X's and O's, no doubt. Like X's and O's, like if you're talking about basketball brain,
And guess
no
who
doubt.
was the first player to score 40 in 4 games since Michael Jordan? It was during last year's playoff run.
was it Mr. Brunson?
It was Jalen Brunson.
Because there was no one else to score. There's no one
There-
else.
There was OG Anunoby. There was DiVincenzo. There was plenty.
OG chucks a three. OG
has been great. OG has
OG's
been great
in Jalen's absence.
in this last month
'Cause
when
again,
Brunson was
But
out.
this Knicks squad is not built. I'll be honest, is not built
They're polarizing.
for a championship. They're not. They're not a championship team.
I agree with that, but that's not Tom Thibodeau's fault. It's not.
Is it Leon Rose's fault?
Not Leon Rose.
It's
not
just
Worldwide Wrestling.
Is it the players that actually don't care?
It's the fault of Isaiah Hardenstein for leaving.
What is
the
it?
team.
What is this thing?
That's not
Kurt,
his
Kurt,
fault
can I
that he
ask you
got
this
paid.
question? Can I ask you this question? What is it that you're saying that the players don't care? Like, I understand they're not homegrown talent. I tried to slip Jalen Brunson in there, but these guys seem to embody New York now. Like, Josh Hart is the heart and soul. New York loves Jalen Brunson through and through. You see them in like Kith commercials and stuff. They seem to be down with New York. I think if you keep this team together for the long haul, 2-3 years down the line, I don't know, of course, contracts and stuff like that, I think they can compete. Again, they're a polarizing team right now. You think they get swept by Boston? I don't think
they get
so.
Swept by Boston.
Boston hasn't looked like the Boston of last year, and when Boston makes mistakes, Boston crumbles when they make mistakes. Jason Tatum is dribbling with his head down, crashing into help defense. Jaylen Brown, when he's at his worst, can't dribble with his left hand.
The issue is that the Knicks don't give help.
injured.
The issue is that the Knicks don't give help defense. They don't give defense. This Knicks team doesn't have grit. Doesn't have heart.
I agree, but that's not Tom Thibodeau's fault. That's because
we're all arguing past each other.
It's because of the players not knowing how to play for and with each other.
Wait. Isn't the coach supposed to be the leader that tells
the
them how
coach
to do
is the
it?
culture builder?
But there's only so much that a coach. This is a thing in sports, a reoccurring theme, thinking that firing a coach is going to fix everything.
Yeah,
or
this is
gonna
also
make much of a difference.
that's a good point.
If the Knicks fire Tom Thibodeau, it is going to make them the same, if not worse, if they come through with the
which by the way,
season.
I think Denver's sincerely in trouble. They have the best player in basketball.
I agree. That
but
firing was ridiculous.
Minnesota matches up very well. You fire Mike Malone, who's one of the best coaches in basketball. I don't give a damn.
There's a lot of coaches now available that you can take if you're in New York that can bring you to the promised land.
No, get rid of Thibodeau.
No.
I don't know. To start this season,
I think that Tibbs is a good builder. He's not a good finisher. He's never been that way.
All right, that's fair. That's actually a fair criticism.
What I will say, you do think this roster's talented enough, Kurt Sippel?
Not to win a championship.
Not to win a championship.
But
you
just said
defenders.
if they just put in a new coach.
If they put in a new coach, they compete. They're going to compete a lot better.
So you think they're done for? I don't think they get swept by Boston. I think they beat the Pistons in 5 and lose to the Boston. I think they beat the Pistons in 6, lose to the Celtics in 6. I think that's where the Knicks are.
I'm sort of with Madi on. Like, I think they can get out of the first round, but
they will.
Against Boston is going to be. It's just going to be a.
Boston's a well-oiled machine, but when they make mistakes, they can be had because it's
the
bad.
only encouraging thing against Boston this season was the last matchup they played, and it was a week and a half. It was just a little over a week ago, and that was a game they should have won, and they lost. So,
orange and blue skies as of right now. I mean. Talk is cheap. The only thing that is final is the score up on the scoreboard. The New York Knicks heading into their first-round playoff matchup against the Detroit Pistons, the up-and-coming Detroit Pistons, and they're hoping to make it blue and orange skies or orange and blue skies. Spike Lee is somewhere smiling in the corner. That's going to do it for our Knicks-Nets talk, our in-their-city talk. We're going to open it up to the general NBA, and boy, am I excited for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned with us. Stick with us. It's been so much fun. We'll be right back.